Good morning, everyone. Adriana here from AW Advanced Aesthetic Training. I'm very excited to be here today. We're going to be talking about lipids and ceramides. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. And thank you again for taking the time and being here with us, because I know everybody takes time off their busy schedule to be here. So I really appreciate that. Let me give me 1 second. Let's get to the presentation. Okay, here we are. So let's get started now. For the ones that don't know me, my name is Adriana Wroth. I've been in the aesthetic industry for about 15 years. I'm an aesthetic consultant and I've been coaching practices, for many, many years. I also wrote a lot of the courses that you see in my website, along with very knowledgeable professionals in the medical and aesthetic industry. And I'm just happy to be here with you today and share all the information and just grow together. All of our trainings that you see online are taught by experienced physicians, nurse practitioners, NCA certified estheticians. We offer ongoing support. You will have up to 6 months of support for post-course or for life, I said, because anytime that somebody reaches out, I'm always available and I'm always here to help. Everything is online, so you can do it on your own time, just like this webinar. So please feel free to visit our website and reach out if you have any questions. So let's talk about skin barrier repair bootcamp, ceramides, lipids, and protocols. Why are the ceramides important? This is a very interesting topic. We had a very good turnaround on this webinar of people getting registered, because it's something that people usually don't talk about. So over the past few years, we've noticed and seen a lot of people with very, very sensitive skin, and with skin that is overworked, because everybody's in this trend of beauty and they want to get more and more procedures. Therefore, the lipids, the barrier of the skin, it's very compromised. So we're seeing a lot of erythema, reactions to treatments, and very, very sensitive skin. And especially now we're seeing a lot of trends where social media are pushing multi-step routines daily to help the skin. And it really comes down to skin barrier and having that beautiful, perfect skin that we all want to have. Common triggers of hypersensitive skin can include daily exfoliation. I see a lot of people doing dermaplaning at home, which is it's not good, because they're not professionals, and they're really removing all of the skin and compromising. The high pH cleansers also, cold weather, indoor heating, sun exposure, pollution, all of these will strip down the essential lipids for the stratum corneum and increasing the irritation. Why is it so important as a professional to understand lipids? Well, number one, if we're going to be doing treatments, we want to make sure the skin is good and is going to be able to sustain the treatment that we're doing. If you have a very sensitive, overworked skin that has no lipids and the barrier is compromised, and you're doing microdermabrasion per se, you're not going to have a good result, because the skin is not a type that will be good for this type of procedure. So we need to make sure also, when recommending products, that the skin is going to tolerate the actives that we are giving them, and that they're also going to heal properly after a procedure. So this is why it's so important to understand and to know what to do and how to help these customers or these patients. So what are the ceramides and lipids? Ceramide types and functions. There are several types of ceramides. We have about 9. And what they do is, again, they help with moisture. It retains the moisture into the skin, and it plays a big part in the hydration. And they all have all these ceramides, it's about 9, they all have different properties. So some, for example, the AP is good for the structural integrity and hydration. So they're all working different ways to just keep the barrier healthy. What are the lipids? The lipids are going to be your free fatty acids and cholesterol, along with ceramides. They need to work together in synergy in order to have a good lipid barrier. So that's going to also support the cohesion and the repair of the skin. Another thing is we have different types, right? We have synthetics, we have plant derivative, and we have bioidentical, which are the ones we create to match the human composition for good efficacy. We need to have synergy. The barrier function is most effective when ceramides are combined with cholesterol. So this is really, really important. If you have a product that has ceramides, but it's lacking on the fatty acids, it's not going to be as effective. So basically what it is, the ratio that you're going to look for when looking at a product is going to be typically a 3-1-1. So what that means is we're going to have 3 ceramides and 1 lipid, and this is going to make it more effective. What are the benefits and why are we going to use them? Because nobody really gave it a lot of attention, including myself back in the day. This is like ceramides, what is that? What does it do? So people don't even attempt to recommend the products or using in their cabin. So what they do, the benefits is they're going to strengthen the skin barrier and it's going to lack the moisture of the skin. And it's going to lead to a plump skin. It comes inflammation. This is great myself with rosacea. Very, very good because it comes inflammation. And even when it's not active, eczema also, you still have a certain level of inflammation. So this is going to help essentially managing, the effects. Post-treatment healing. After peelings, lasers, microneedling, retinoids, ceramides is going to help reduce the redness and restore the hydration, and it's going to speed up the recovery. So see how important this is as a professional to understand, because now we have a product that we can give them post-procedure to help them restore the skin. And, most people do the procedure, send them home, and good luck, and give them products that are not even suitable for the skin. So the first thing we want to do post-treatment is repair. Once we help with the repair, then what we want to do is prescribe or recommend products that are suitable for the skin, and is going to support the aging of the skin, because as we age, our levels decline of ceramides, of everything, right? Of everything, including collagen. So also the ceramides. So when we replenish these ceramides, is going to help with the texture of the skin, because you can have a lot of procedures, but you can still have that aging, dehydrated, damaged skin. You just have now tightening because you did a laser, or you have less pigmentation, but the quality is still not good. So we have to treat the patients according to where they're at. And I give you a fine example. I had a client that came to me. She wanted to do treatments for anti-aging. I said, what's your main concern? Anti-aging, lines, wrinkles. But she has done so much to her skin that it was so inflamed and so sensitive that I had to tell her, right now, your skin cannot be treated as anti-aging. We need to treat it as sensitive and hypersensitive. Actually, it was very, very inflamed. And then once we get it back to the normal state, then we can start doing anti-aging. So anti-aging, part of anti-aging treatments is to have a skin that is going to support and that is going to be healthy for the treatment that we are doing. How to choose and recommend these products. So we're always going to look for multiple types of ceramides, not just one, right? Different. So look at the list of the top ingredients, and alongside, you got to have lipids, fatty acids, and cholesterol. So be aware that if the product is lacking on fatty acids and cholesterol, it may not be as effective, or if it doesn't have enough types of ceramides, the concentration is not there that we need. And I'm talking about, in the products. As I explained earlier, the 3-1 ratio explained clinical studies support that a ratio of 3 parts of ceramides, 1 part of cholesterol, and 1 part of fatty acids. That's what we need. So the fatty acids plus the ceramides. And this is going to be the most effective composition for skin repair. Because when we get a cream, we don't know, right? We look at it, we got to listen to what they're telling us and believe that it's good. But I always said, get clinical studies. For me, having clinical products or medical graded products is everything, because we're not chemists. We don't know what's in it, but the clinical studies don't lie, and it would tells us exactly what we need in, what ingredients we're having. We're going to find serums, moisturizers, and masks. Serums, of course, lightweight. You already know that. Layering and delivering actives. I love to use serum at night and during the day. It's not just for night, because you can let it dry and then you can apply a layer of moisturizer. And you can also use your mask for post-procedure or also weekly. The encapsulation technology is going to be your delivery system. Usually it comes encapsulated in liposomes or nanospheres. And this is going to improve the penetration and the stability for the product to make sure that it's very effective. What estheticians should know, the formulation. So let's talk a little bit about the formulation on the ceramides. Formulation stability. Ceramides can degrade in unstable formulations, pH, temperature, emulsification, and so methods must be optimized to keep them active. So when it comes to heat sensitive, we do have a policy in our company of not returning products. The reason being all of these products can be heat sensitive to the temperature. So if somebody leaves it in the car and returns it and then I'm selling it to someone else, it's just not right. And as you guys know, I work with a lot of integrity and I do what's right. So this is very important that you get your products, that they don't sit on the mailbox, that if you have them in your room, you know, and you're somewhere with no AC, all of this can change. So stability is very important. Why is it that some products fail and they don't work? They can use ceramides, but they don't see any results. It could be because it has a very low concentration of ceramides. So it's kind of a marketing technique, right? And it also doesn't have the supporting lipids. So the formulation has to be perfect in order to work. Sometimes the term ceramide is just used for marketing and it really doesn't have anything or it doesn't work. They just want to sell more of those products. So we have medical versus retail. Medical graded products often offer the clinical studies. And this is what I love. Our company, it's very big in clinical studies. We have a medical board that we consistently work in Europe, and we're able to continue these studies. So you may see sometimes if you are one of our customers in our product books, that sometimes things can change a little bit. Maybe a protocol can change, maybe the combination can change because they're constantly improving and doing studies to make sure that everything is very effective. So that's very important. How are we going to use the ceramides? Protocols and practical use. As I said before, we're going to do post-procedure. Use your cream, use your mask, your serum. You can apply a serum right followed by the treatment. You want to avoid actives for 2 to 5 days and just focus on hydration and healing. I would say a week. You know, anything that I do, I always give it extra time because healing is time. Healing requires to wait to give time to the skin, to the body. And I would do probably 7 days, just focusing on hydration and healing for the post-procedure, because this is the most important part on anything in order to get results, even on plastic surgery, a facelift and body lift, whatever it is, you need to give it enough time, just like the skin. So we can use the ceramides for 5 to 7 days and just to restore the skin, to bring it back to a healthy state and restore those lipids. Also, it could be a prep, barrier prep. You can use ceramide products at least 1 week prior to procedures. What this is going to do is build resilience and is going to reduce the risk of adverse reactions. So this is, to me, it's great to be able to prep the skin. You can do a facial, you can use ceramides, you can give them a mask. We do have a mask that you can sleep overnight mask. I love them. I use the cryo mask. I use the sleeping lift mask. So you just sleep with it and your skin is going to be great. So you can actually prep the skin for procedures, even a facelift. That's something that you can do. Even a facelift is something that you can prepare the skin, and you should, because I spoke to a plastic surgeon that's well-known, Dr. Weston, and he said, if the skin is good, if people do treatments, if they use a skincare routine prior to surgery, the skin is easier to cut, it's easier to work. Otherwise, it makes it harder on the surgeon because the skin is tough. So that's important. So even if we're doing a laser, whatever, a TEWL, whatever it is, microneedling, we can prepare the skin. Case studies, before and after pictures, that's also very important that you have, showing the accelerated healing and reduce the inflammation. This you guys already know, but you know it's always good to reinforce the information. Let's talk about some myths and mistakes in marketing. Contains ceramides. This is a term that you will see in some products. Contains ceramides is not enough. It's missing the presence of a lot of ceramides. The label doesn't guarantee any results. You need to look for supporting lipids and proper ratios, like we talked earlier, and the delivery systems. Are they in a liposome? How are they coming? So now you understand a little bit more, and you can ask these questions. Is it from plants? Is it from bioidentical? Where are they coming from? What is the concentration? How many does it have? And what are your ratios and your delivery system? Key. So this is really, they'll be very impressed with your knowledge. Many brands also capitalize on the barrier repair trend because it is a trend, but they're not delivering the formulations. So it's important to evaluate the formulas. That's critical that you check. Client education, we need to help the customers understand that always more actives are better. And I'm not talking about ceramide, I'm talking about actives in general. We can teach them to identify signs of a barrier damage and value the lipids and having a good skin. I always say, look, we can do Botox, fillers, lasers, but you're going to look like an old lady filled with Botox and fillers and lasers. What we want to do is have a good quality of the skin so it's glowy and healthy and you look youthful. And then guess what? You don't need that many the Botox and all of these procedures because you have a healthy, glowing skin, which is going to be our ultimate goal. Ceramides are essential for all skin types. So all skin types, this is great because we can sell across the board. And retail, talking about retail, this will definitely help with your retail. So this is really good. And it's going to be particularly beneficial for certain skin conditions and concerns. We're going to do a breakdown by skin type. We're going to go from the top that we recommend all the way, not the least, not saying that it's not going to work less, but that, it's going to be more effective. So number one is for dry skin. So we have a lot of people with dry skin, especially these days. This is going to help with the hydration, but especially the natural lipids like the ceramides, and it's going to repair the barrier, reduce water loss. And this is what happens. The skin is dehydrated, right? Because it is dry. And also when you see that crack, dry skin, the fatty acids will help restore that. Sensitive or reactive skin, highly recommended. So top recommendation, dry skin. Sensitive will be our high recommended and reactive skin because it already has, or most likely is going to have a compromised barrier, right? So we need the ceramides to help to calm the inflammation, to reduce the redness and improve the tolerance. Ecotine is actually a very good ingredient that I have been using. We have a serum, and not to promote it, but just to give you guys some tools if you're having people with rosacea that had helped a lot. I apply every night and every morning, and it's really good. And we actually have it in our ceramide cream. After peels, microneedling or retinol use. So this is all sensitive, hypersensitive skin and reactive skin. Highly, highly recommended because of the ability to reduce not only inflammation, but hold that hydration and restore the barrier of the skin. Now, we also recommend for oily or acne skin. So this is great, right? We have one product that will work for a lot of different skin types. And this is going to be recommended in a lightweight formula. Of course, we don't want thick and occlusive. I probably will go with the serum. And it's going to be able to balance oil production by reducing the skin's needs to overcompensate loss of moisture. So sometimes when you have oily skin, really it's producing a lot of oil, overproduction of oil because it's lacking oil or is lacking hydration. So this will be very, very good. And aging or mature skin, which is amazing, very beneficial because it's going to decrease with age, the levels of ceramides. And it makes it very dry. I'm sure a lot of older people like myself will struggle with dry skin after we get older. So that is going to show a lot of lines and wrinkles, and ceramide products can restore the plumpness of the skin and the texture. So it's a win-win. For example, for me, acne, I'm sorry, not acne, rosacea, sensitive skin, and aging skin, and it's going to be a win-win because it would work for both very well. It also would work with eczema and psoriasis and rosaceas we talk about. And it's also going to help reduce, the ceramides can restore balance. So when there is balance of the skin, we're going to have less flare-ups. So this can reduce flare-ups and protect from any irritants. And it's good because a lot of products when it comes to rosacea or eczema or psoriasis, can irritate the skin. We know for a fact that this is a product that is safe and is going to do completely the opposite. Post-procedure microneedling laser peels, that'll be essential as we talk about for the recovery, because it's going to reduce the irritation, prevent water loss after procedures, and it can be used along with panthenol, hyaluronic acid. I think hyaluronic acid with this will be a great combination. Use the serum, and then you can use the cream. Some hyaluronic serum, peptides. You can also use the ceramide cream. It's very important before we start giving our patients or clients these products and put them on a routine of recovery that we do a very in-depth assessment and find out lifestyles, what is your skincare routine, because most likely I see a lot of the skincare routine, which is the one that it is causing the most irritation, because they don't know. They buy a cream because they have a little bit of hyperpigmentation, but it has a lot of acids, and they don't understand. It says great for brightening the skin, and they start using acids, different types of acids, and the skin is very compromised. Lifestyle, what treatments they're doing at home, because most likely they're probably doing, like I said, dermaplaning is very popular. And this cannot be done so often because it continues to remove everything from the skin and the lipids. So make sure that you do an evaluation to find out exactly what is happening with the sensitivity. Where is it coming from? Why is it so reactive? Is it a product? Is it a treatment? I always said, what treatments have you done in the past? Maybe, they did 3 or 4 or 5 treatments before, which I had a client actually who did lasers, microdermabrasion, dermaplaning, everything that can exfoliate the skin, because she was trying to get rid of the large pores. And what it was doing, it was worse, because the skin was very sensitive to the touch. It could not be treated anymore with aggressive procedures, and the pores were larger because there is loss of elasticity. And also as we remove layers of the skin, as you go down in the pore, it's bigger and bigger. It's much bigger where the follicle is, so it was worse. So a good assessment, understanding what's causing it, and putting a good plan together is essential. I'm going to talk a little bit for the ones that have, we do have is on water and oil. So we encapsulate it, and it's specifically formulated to treat dry and sensitive skin. Some of the ingredients, we made it vegan or ceramides, and you have ictoin, which I said is very good for inflammation. And we have clinical studies that it works. It's great for moisture of the skin, regulating transdermal or transepidermal water flow, protecting the skin, restoring the lipid barrier, and soothing redness. So this is a very, very good product. We do have clinical studies, as I said before. We conducted on 11 healthy volunteers. We did a study, and one of the great things about being vegan, we're not tested in animals. It doesn't come from humans, because after COVID, people don't want anything that's human, or obviously cruelty tested in animals. So it's completely good and safe. And what happened on this study, we have the 11 volunteers. After 30 minutes, the cream was found to improve hydration by 73%. I mean, this is huge compared to the placebo. And after 8 hours, it improved hydration by 53% compared to the placebo. These results are highly significant on the properties of restoring the barrier and the hydration of the skin using vegan ceramides. What is different on our ceramides? So we have water encapsulated in oil. It's an emulsion formulation, vegan ceramides, and it's very nutritive for the skin. It's going to nourish the skin. It has a little bit of a fragrance of aloe vera, very, very light, and again, good for sensitive skin and great for hydration of the skin. We do have also an ice cream ceramides, and the ice cream ceramides is going to be found on our Exception brand. It's a pH of 5 for sensitive, mature, dry skin as well. And it's proven to work with clinical studies, and it helps to skin that is overstressed with the environment. The environment plays a big role. Free radicals that will come to the skin and take those little atoms and leave. And this age is just very, very quick. It also works with vitamin F, which is good for skin texture and complexion. So the skin, as you use these products, what it's going to look is toned, brighter, and healthier over time. We do have, again, vitamin F, which is part of a lipid, and is going to help ectoine inflammation and all of your ceramides, all with clinical studies. We also have here that we incorporate two technologies that are very innovative in the ice cream cream. It's interesting because it has an ice cream consistency and it smells amazing, but it has an ice cream consistency and it's a water infusion emulsion. And this is very, very stable, which is very critical for the system. We talk about stability, which is very important. And the main emollients of the cream are silicone waxes that offer excellent protection without forming an occlusion on the skin. So they're perfect for smooth skin, and it's been adjusted to work in synergy. So it's great for refreshing the skin just on one application. Ceramides mask. I love the sleeping mask, and you can use this overnight. You can sleep with this mask. Again, plant-based ceramides. They come from the rice, just so you guys know. Our products, our ceramides come with from rice, and it offers a very good hydration and repair. And we have here just some information on the mask, which has the ceramides and the ectoine. You apply it at night. You let it dry for 10 minutes. I use the sleeping mask as well. And it won't smear on your pillow. It feels good and it dries really quick. It feels dry, but it's really working into the skin, but you're not going to have a mess. So it's a great product to use, especially post procedures. You can actually sell them a kit with the serum, the cream, and now they have the mask that they can use, and they can apply that mask throughout the healing process, for the first month, and it's going to be very beneficial for the skin. We have here some of the indications for the mask. Regulates the transdermal water flow, protects the skin, restores the lipid barrier, soothes any redness, irritation, sensitivity, and is good for moisturizing. Another important fact is that we are EcoCert certified on these products. So it's very good. We have all certification. It's going to be nice lubricating for the skin, a good emollient, and it has a low fatty character. So it's got a lot of properties that are going to be very helpful on restoring that barrier of the skin. We talk about what are the benefits. So we have here that this is, again, oil trapped into gel technology, maximal hydration on this mask, and nutrition. And if you want more clinical studies, you can always refer to the book on our website. And you can find, if you go to the marketing tab, you find exception book or fusion book, and you can really look at each individual product with all the studies, explanations, protocols, ingredients, everything is there. So this is a very good mask, ideal for overnight nutrition. So how great while you're sleeping. You can create actually a campaign for marketing, restore your skin barrier while you sleep. I will totally buy it. We just have to educate our customers so this way they understand what the benefits are. So elevate your retail, offering the new Ceramides Duo. If you want to request some samples on your next order, please feel free to do that. And thank you so much. If you don't have an account with us and you would like to open an account, because I know I had a lot of people registering today or throughout the week that don't have accounts, just know that if you open an account with us, you get a free certification and a course, whether it's an exception for peelings or fusion for microneedling. You would get some education that is free. You can scan here. We have a lot of webinars on our website. Please feel free to take advantage. We do this every month and we put them right on our website. You can just watch them on YouTube. Subscribe if you enjoy this presentation. I try not to make it very long because you will be very, very tired if I go hours and hours. So I make it very short. It's lunchtime and we're getting together. So some of the benefits that you have opening an account is we offer marketing materials. We have before and after pictures. We have on our website that you will find under that tab. We have videos that are state of the art and are great for you to use. We get samples. You get samples on all of your orders, but mainly you get more on your first order. And we have courses and certifications that we offer that you can take advantage of. And the main thing is we're here. Let me just stop my share, put my camera. The greatest thing is that we're here. We're here to support you. A second, let me close this. We are here to support you, to help you, to by your side on anything that you need, whether it's marketing, whether it's education, whatever you need. If you need me to train your staff, we do that a lot. Get your staff together. We do a Zoom meeting and we can train your front desk. We can train everybody at your spa to have more knowledge. Remember that knowledge is power if you apply it. And we can all be very successful. This is what it's about, helping each other and growing together. Thank you so much for being here today. I appreciate it. I'm always very humbled to be able to share all this information with you. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Anything, you have our email, or just send us a comment and we'll be happy to answer for you. Thank you again, and you have an amazing day.